So welcome to the webinar, everyone. This is our webinar for healers. For those of you who are assisting others in some sort of healing capacity, definitely applies to all of us as we're all interacting with other beings, or if we have children. The more and more we learn about this mind-body healing work, the more it's just natural that we want to expand this for ourselves, but also share it with others. And sometimes we can do that in a way that's like butting heads, but to actually be the invitation that welcomes others that you love into a more expansive way of being is effortless and has a far, far greater and deeper effect on those people you love, whether it's clients that you're working with as a healer or just the other people who are in your life. We'll be sharing in this webinar the biggest reasons people get depleted trying to help and assist others, and how we can change this to not only allow this ignition of the healing capacity within yourself to expand in your body, but to also allow that to expand throughout your life. So for those of you who are on the video, feel free to click on your video so that we can see each other. I know there's a lot of people on the call, but it's still nice to see faces. If you have questions, you can enter them in the chat, and I'm going to be looking through the chat to just connect and answer questions and see what's coming up. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Kim Duramo, and I'm a physician. I was previously working in the emergency room for years, and but always have been very, very intuitive and understanding what's really going on beneath the surface, what's really causing chronic illness where things aren't resolving, and why isn't this resolving, and what's really going on, and just intuitively being able to read the body and understand what's happening in the emotional body, what's happening in the person's energy that is truly keeping this illness in place and preventing them from healing. So I began to be much more expansive in how I was assisting people who had chronic illness, and have now evolved that into the American Institute of Mind-Body Medicine as a way to share with individuals and other healers and doctors how we can be much, much more expansive and much more impactful in what we're doing to assist humanity and expand health. So welcome to the webinar. And again, you can enter any questions into the chat while we're going today. So I do want to hear from you where you like tuning in from, and are you a healer? Are you a practitioner? What kind of practitioner are you? What specifically are you doing, or what are you helping others with? And maybe something about why. Why are you doing what you're doing? And then also, are there struggles that you've had, either for yourself personally with your own health and your own body or your own life? We did the Mind Body TV episode today on how to get out of lack and into abundance. And then also struggles in your practice where it's like, wow, I really want to make this kind of a difference, but it's not going the way I thought, or I'm working way harder than I wanted to work, or I don't know how to create what it is that's really in my awareness of what I'm here to do. I know for me, for many years, it wasn't clear. What would this look like? How would I really help people? I had the awareness that the fluidity with which I wanted to do my work was like inexplicable. It was like, well, that's so fluid. I wouldn't even be doing anything. How could that work? And also the awareness that there was such a depth of the downloads I would receive that it's like, how could I ever put that together and share it in a book or in work or even in words in a way that made sense to other people? And the more and more I would ask what's required of me here, the more I would receive be still and know, so to speak, that through embodying the message that I'm here to share, that was all that was required of me. Everything else would come as a result of that, as an emanation of that. Oh, so Chicagoland, woohoo. Marie, we have Eva from UK, Angela from UK too. We have Michelle, Erica, who has been assisting me with expanding the business, Silicon Valley, Florida. Bali from California, Rachel from the UK. Hello. Oh, from Boston, and I'm thinking that must be Jessica because it says Maine, but Someone's from Boston. That's where I grew up. Charlotte from Sebastopol, California. And Kathy from Seattle. I worked with you a few years ago. I appreciate you continuing to shine your light. Thank you. And another person in the UK, lying on my bed. Well, that's beautiful. Delhi is from Half Moon Bay, BC, Canada. Kathy, I'm from Vancouver, Washington. I'm a certified emotion code practitioner, having a hard time charging people for my sessions. I feel good offering sessions for free, but when I mention money, people have not wanted to continue. Oh, that's a really great point. A lot of times when we don't acknowledge and stand in the alignment of our value, it's a electromagnetic message to others. This isn't really valuable. Don't take me seriously. This isn't really valuable. You could receive it for free, but you wouldn't want to pay money for it. And we don't realize that we're like a bulletin board displaying all of our innermost doubts, self-doubts, or limiting beliefs, or even the unknown, unseen energies that are suppressive and are not aligned with the truth of who we are. But we will see the reflection of that in our life, either people abusing us, or money. We never have enough money. It's always a lack of money. Or I have this great thing and no one's buying it. Why is no one coming? I had a practitioner reach out to me this summer, and he was so convinced that the work he was doing was amazing and expansive. And if I could just get people to listen, how do I get this to take off? I'm throwing marketing dollars behind it. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I know this is so expansive, but I just need something to happen. I just need help. I just need a breakthrough. And I totally felt for this person, because I was like, that's how I felt for years. I didn't realize how powerful it was for me to simply embody the essence of what this work is, and that would speak for itself, because that didn't make sense to my mind. It was like, well, yeah, but you still got to do marketing. Oh yeah, but then how's anyone going to find you? And so I was chasing my tail trying to make that part of it work. But I could feel the alignment for this person where they were in fear and scarce and lack, a scarcity around where they were going with their business, even though they did have the awareness that what the work was itself was very expansive. So we actually have to come into a full alignment with, I know that I know, and I allow myself to receive all that is the reflection of that. So again, doesn't make sense to the mind that thinks nothing will happen if I do that. But certainly let's look into that. Kathy. Jeff says, I'm from New Paltz, New York. My name is Jeff Snyder. Hello. Joanne from Lisle, Illinois. Looking forward to Be the Medicine. I'm a practicing massage therapist. So there's some people who are already registered for the Be the Medicine program, which is awesome. We'll just touch base on some of the main components of it today. But for those of you who are interested, there are still spots available. And the offer invitation page for that is at drkimd.com/BTM. All right, so Germany, woohoo, Anna. Maggie from Canada, Ida, and hello, Ida, she's from Denmark. So lots of other people joining very quickly. Michelle, I'm healing my own disease. At the same time, I'm using what I learned to help others. So that's interesting this came up, because this is the reason I created the Be the Medicine program. There were so many people who were tuning into my work and who I was assisting, who were also kind of concomitantly using the wisdom they were gaining through their experience to assist others, to bring that into the world, what they've learned, what they've integrated, how they've grown, what they've been able to see. And it is so often through our own challenges or hardships or illness that we become more open to this kind of a dimension beyond what we always thought was our whole reality, to open to something new, to open to something bigger, to realize something that's way beyond anything we ever imagined. And then when we have that, it's like, whoa, everyone needs to know this. I want to share this. It's a natural emanation of our receiving that we will want to share. And so when we receive and there's fulfillment and completion, doesn't mean I'm already totally healed and now I can teach you. Not that kind of completion necessarily. That's not necessary. But a completion of this, we register this new awareness. We register this higher awareness. I'm going to shut my door real quick. So hold on just a sec. I forgot to do that. My little baby is 8 months today. Happy birthday. And he's making lots of noise out there. So when we, when we come into that fruition and that receiving, even if we haven't completely integrated it into our life, like we're kind of still in between two worlds, we want to share it. It's so inspiring. And we want actually to live in the world where other beings have also received this, and we can communicate in that unity consciousness. So because of that, I began assisting healers and practitioners in how to do this in the most fluid way. For me, it was not so fluid. There was a lot of glitchiness. There was a lot of glitchiness to how I was trying to grow my business and what I was learning about that. Oh, you have to do this and you have to do that and you have to do this marketing, you have to do this mastermind. And I spent tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars kind of trying to share this thing that I was so passionate about, not realizing that I was like 2 degrees off center. None of that was what was really required. Instead of doing this in a contrived way of, here's what you need to do on social media. Here's what you need to do when you're emailing. And it was exhausting and depleting. I finally dumped everything and really began to just let go of everything I thought and everything I had learned, and to begin to listen to what I knew. And so the programs and the way and what we're going to share today is so much more based on the effortlessness of that and how that happens. Because we don't understand how it happens. It's like, I'm not going to totally buy into that just in case, because then nothing's going to really happen in my world if I don't really go out there and make it happen. But if we understand how, I think we get a little bit more buy-in to say, okay, I'm going to choose my serenity and I'm going to choose what really feels fluid for me in the total knowing of what that really creates. Jenny says, Wisconsin, I got trained in mind-body coaching and have been doing that for a few years on the side, but went to school to be a therapist. I'm currently offering on-site corporate wellness, but I want to make a shift into full-time coaching business. Recovered from extreme burnout. I still have ups and downs and chronic fatigue and depression and panic attacks. All have been positively responsive to this work. Thank you. But my fear and lack comes around making this a real life business for myself. Awesome, Jenny. And I didn't share this in the live broadcast today, but we're going to go back and add it to the replay or add it to the description. But there's an audio that I just created exactly for this, to move out of lack and into abundance. And it's really about moving out of fear and into serenity. And we think that's just a shift in how we feel, but it's a whole shift in our harmonic and our energetic and our bioelectric field. And that is a very, very powerful component of what creates everything in your life and everything in your experience. And that audio, it's like a 3-part integration where it brings you through a clearing and cleansing of like all the old limitations that have you kind of still reside in that old energy, and what's the resonance of that lack so that you can neutralize it, and then kind of an upgrade and integrating something higher. So you are all welcome to receive that. It's at drkimd.com/serenity. So certainly from Michelle. And then Dorothy says, I'm feeling stuck. I want to move forward. Karen from Canada, how do I discover the exploration of personal love and joy, which can then overflow and radiate on others? That's what we're going to talk about today. And it's also in the audio. There's so many resources I have for that. If the Be the Medicine program does speak to you, this is exactly what we're integrating in the program, is to move through a true transmutation of your system, physically, mentally, emotionally, bioelectromagnetically. So you are in a different emanation, meaning you're emitting an entirely different frequency that is aligned with the truth of who you are, that's more aligned with the essence of what your work is really here to be. So not only are you guided in knowing, oh, here's what I'm going to share on today. I'm going to post it to a YouTube and just put it out in the world and let it be simple and have that synchronicity where people find it, and knowing what that looks like and how to do it, but also having the structures. What's your business structure look like? What are your packages look like? What are you offering to others? Because often we package it in a way that's like really, really high investment for us, and maybe medium or high investment receiving for the other person, right? So it's like, oh, I'm going to spend 2 hours with this person. I'm going to give it my all. And they maybe receive something really wonderful. But what if they could receive that or something even more expansive from less input needed by me? So I could make this more fluid. There's more energy for me to invest in what I'm doing, and people can receive even more. It wasn't until I came into my own alignment with serenity that I even, first of all, believed that was possible or understood how it worked. But certainly that I even could conceive of ways to do that. And now I conceive of a new way to do that every single day. It's effortless for me. It comes through just boom, 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 all these amazing ways to contribute way more to the world and to receive through what I'm doing way, 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 way more than what I ever imagined. One of the major premises to Be the Medicine is that the greatest recipient of everything you do in the world, of your work, your job, your career, the greatest recipient has to be you. We think, oh, I'm here to help others. I got to help others. Let me help others. It's so great. I'm helping others. And then we focus on, how can I help others? How can I do more for others? And so then I have more value. And so then maybe I can make more money. And so then I can feel more fulfilled. And that is not how it works at all. It's always a matter of what contributes the most to me and everyone involved. What contributes the most to me? What's juicy for me? What lights me up? What makes me come alive? Because for all of you who are practitioners, there's something that makes you come more fully alive that you are here to share. And it doesn't come from you, it comes through you. So when you release all of these layers of, I'm not good enough, I have to do more. I'm not smart enough, I have to do better. Oh, I don't have the right degree, I have to go learn more. When you release those layers, you can effortlessly allow this flow to come through you. The universe is informing you with your healing art, or informing you with whatever it is you've developed that you're doing for others. You have received that. It didn't come from you, it came through you. You've got to be receptive and open in order to let that abundance flow through you into your world. And you are the number one recipient of it. So if you're got that upside down where it's like, I'm doing so much for others and I'm burnt out. Oh, I'm investing so much in growing this business and I'm in debt. Or, any lack that's showing up, it's always because there's something to be cleared and there's a different way to tune in more deeply and let it be more fluid. Karen from Canada, how do I discover the exploration of personal love and joy? I think which can overflow and radiate each other. So we'll certainly get into that today. Rita, hello. When I taught business management, the students learned to be more efficient with their time or money with simple changes. In the conclusion of my write-up, I posed that since for the body, efficiency means ease, maybe the body has more to teach us. Amen. The paper got rejected for lack of published citations about the wisdom of the body. I'm now searching for evidence inward and outward. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, so what I've always found is my mind thinks I need more of the outside evidence than what I actually need. So I've let go of, because this study shows, now I can share about this. And I'll always tune in here into my heart, into my knowing of what are people ready to receive and what's the best way for me to deliver that. And then there's an alignment there. And there is so much more very well done, well designed research showing the power of what's happening within us. I never make that a requirement before I embrace something myself. I embrace what I know, period, the end. But as I embrace what I know, it's really cool that I will automatically receive all of that. Hey, here's this evidence, and hey, here's that evidence, and hey, here's something else that can help people really understand how this works. And so that will follow. So I would invite you to continue to open to being willing to know what you know, and it will open up the space where you're in forums that are not in that space of like, well, we're not listening to anything you say unless you show us this first. But more of people who are willing to be open to something they don't already know, and then explore ways of understanding that more fully in a scientific way. Lisa, hi from New Jersey. I coach clients with chronic illness, particularly chronic fatigue syndrome, to help them calm their nervous system dramatically through techniques including neuroplasticity in order to help them get their health back on track. Beautiful. I love it. If there's any challenges you're having, I would love to hear sharing on how this has been for you. Jeff, I'm a licensed counselor working with individuals, groups, families, and couples. I have some chronic health problems. I'm sure that having done about 33,000 sessions over the year working with folks, pain, suffering, trauma has affected my health. I'd like to transition out of the hour for dollar model and get my relationship success program up and going online as a course. I do what I do so people can feel calmer, more relaxed, more confident, and have a healthier, happier, and more supportive relationship. This is awesome. So for all of us who are resonating with that, who have something like, whoa, I want to have this come out into the world, that there's something even intangible or tangible like we have here, this didn't come from you. It's coming through you. Meaning you received the wisdom and inspiration and the know-how and the skills to create this. You didn't make it up. And the reason that is so important to know is because there is a match for those who are asking for it, like maybe praying on the knees, oh God, please show me the way. I need an answer. I need a solution. And your inspiration to heed that call. We do not live in a vacuum. We do not work in isolation. We are never disconnected from the world around us. So if we are one, if there is this unity, when we begin to operate in unity consciousness, we will receive that exact calling, that exact transmission, that exact sort of need, and we'll hear it in the exactly way that we are set up to answer it. Like I am uniquely set up to do the work I do. And it's insane because 20 or 30 years ago, I thought I was just insane. I thought I was crazy. I thought there's something wrong with me. Turn it off, make it go away. This is a big problem. And it did cause a lot of problems. Like I didn't have anyone around me who had any spiritual foundation to understand what I was experiencing or how I operate. Like, why can I hear things and know things and be aware of multiple dimensions and existing on multiple dimensions? This is just too crazy and really unsettling for me. It took a long time to begin to really integrate how life and the universe wanted me to work or has set me up to do this in exactly the perfect way. Now it's awesome, right? It's like, it makes total sense. I can read the body. I can have awareness. It is a huge contribution, huge for the people that I've worked with. And so the same is true for all of us in some way of how we're, especially if you feel called to create something or provide a service as a healing practitioner, that there is a very specific way that your people, the people who are a match for what you're inspired to be doing, are calling for you, are asking for you. And that is why I don't do conventional marketing. And people will say, well, we got to market this. You got to get your word out there. You got to do this and that. And I'm like, I didn't not do it because I thought, well, I don't believe in that. I didn't do it because it felt so contrived and so heavy. So heavy and so depleting. And I did try. I mean, for years and years back, it's not that I didn't try. I was like, no, I have to do this. And it was depleting. Like financially, just created more debt and lack. So I finally realized, wait a minute, Kim, let go of everything you think about this. And even though I didn't really understand how it could be that I share a YouTube video for 3 minutes and someone says, I'm going to fly across the world and go work with that person. And I know, boom, I'm going. How does that happen? I understand way more about resonance, about the fifth dimension and how we're connected and that transmission of consciousness. I understand how we're connected at the heart. And this woman had been asking, please, God, help me heal. What do I need to do? I'm open, I'm willing, I'm looking, so that she could receive that, this is the yes, this is what I've been asking for. She was asking for a certain result or a certain experience, and I was a match for that. And so she was willing to choose it. So I didn't have to, quote unquote, sell her on my program, which was a $15,000 private retreat. And I've loved doing that. I don't know why I created it that way. I created it that way because it's what came through. And I knew, even though it freaked me out at first, like, how are people going to find this? How am I going to share this? That's okay. It's like wax on, wax off. You had the Karate Kid back in 1980, I don't know, 82. And he's learning all these like Jedi master things or like karate master. But he's like, wax on, wax off. I'm sick of painting the fence. I'm sick of all this work. I'm sick of waxing your car. When am I going to learn karate? And then the master says, show me wax on, show me wax off. And he's like, choo, choo, choo. And what Daniel realizes is he knows all the blocks. He knows them in his cellular DNA because he spent hours and hours painting the fence and waxing the car, that his body was learning something. And so often we have no idea why we're doing what we're doing. But if we learn to come into this alignment of what we know, we develop all the technology that's required to do what we're here to do. And I have an interesting story about Steve Jobs, and I shared it in my book that's coming out next year, where he dropped out of college. It's like, I'm not doing this. And then he's like, well, now that I'm not doing the regular curriculum, I'm free to just take whatever pleases my fancy. And he found this calligraphy course. And he went and said, that looks interesting. I'm fascinated by the fonts and the spacing and how that all looks. And I'm going to take this calligraphy course. He had no idea that would create, he had no idea what that would create, or that it could create anything, quote unquote, productive. But he knew it just felt light for him. It felt fluid. It felt like the joy that he had dropped out of school to receive and to choose. And so now, years later, we have the Mac, which is like completely developed to be aesthetically pleasing and communicating easily on the eye, and the fonts and the spacing that he learned from that calligraphy class. So we can't always know why we're choosing what we're choosing, but if we're willing to follow, and this is really what the work of the Be the Medicine is about, tuning in so we get the hit, tuning in so we can access our wisdom. When I'm going to create a program, I feel into what wants to be created, what needs to be received here, what are the people who are matched for this looking for, and then it's like boom, 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 boom. And so if I'm going to share, I follow the same awareness. Oh, should I post something today? And if I'm like, oh, I should post something today because I haven't posted anything in a week. Oh, I should post something. I've like gone beyond that a long time ago. But if I can listen, it's a hit of like, oh, I want to share on this. Yeah. That's so juicy and exciting. Let me share it. And it's fluid. If you've seen my videos, they're like a little selfie. The background's moving around. It's not professional, but something comes across that's authentic. And that is the transmission. That is what matters. When I live here, it will be communicated, and it will be very specifically communicated to the people who are already looking for what I'm here to be. So that is not the same as conventional marketing, where it's like, I got to go out and make this thing happen and sell these people and make people know that they need this. And it's a fear-based marketing. It doesn't work for a heart-centered business. It doesn't work for a truly healing business. We can't heal when we're in the frequency of fear. You need this supplement, or you're just going to get older and fall apart. So good thing you have blah, 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 blah. And that's a fear-based marketing. You got to go out there and distract people while they're doing something else. So you're waving wildly, hey, look at me. This is what you need. And you got to make the most noise in the marketplace because it's a very busy marketplace, and all that BS. All of those belief systems, they don't pertain to the field that we are in. So it will never work. I've been caring for family members over the last 6 years, leaving my CPA practice to do so. So this is from Maine, and I don't know who that is, but if you want to type in your name. I've lost my brother and sister to cancer, and recently my mom, who suffered with vascular dementia. The years have been tough, but so enlightening. They led me to you and opened up a whole new world for me. There's got to be a way to help dementia patients. So one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this work I'm doing in Be the Medicine is because the more of us who are healers, who are here to do this work, who come into alignment, yes, of course, there's a way for us to be free from dementia, period, the end. But it won't come through decades of research and then finding this out and finding that out and fear-based marketing to let people know. It will come from us being in alignment and sharing from the heart, because we are connected at the heart. That's why people can know and immediately take action. And they will hunt you down and find you. You don't have to wave your hand wildly and make the most professional looking website. You can just make whatever feels fluid to you. And I guarantee you that people will find you who are here to find you. This goes on to say, I feel a calling to help patients and families somehow. And I'm trying to see a vision for this. I want to share all that I've experienced and learned. Perfect. And really that's what the Be the Medicine program is about, is to allow you to be more and more connected with that which is ready to flow through you. Okay, so I'm going to share a little more about what I wanted to share today about compassion and empathy. A lot of times, especially for people like me as HSPs, highly sensitive people, there have been books written on this and a lot of material about this where it's like, oh, I'm a highly sensitive person. So, like take the back of your hand and put it to your forehead and then cock your head back. And it's like, oh, woe is me. Because we feel we'll get bombarded by the world. Like, oh, I'm just like constantly getting these energy hits from everyone else who's in a lower frequency. And I'm exhausted and I can't go out of the house. But it doesn't need to be experienced like that at all. When we foster compassion, not just empathy, because clearly we're highly empathic, compassion is the key. When I can experience everything I experience with profound compassion, I will move fluidly through all of those energies. Mother Teresa is probably the biggest example of this on the planet that we've had in our lifetime, where her willingness to see beauty in the despicable, shameful, hateful, heaviest energies was what allowed her to exist in this low frequency space of Calcutta and bring a light and bring a presence of love and peace and allow healing to happen. So when we can meet the heaviest energies that we embody with compassion, we will move through them fluidly. And that is the medicine. That is the exactly thing that has the pill be therapeutic, and we see it in the placebo effect. It's the exact thing that has the massage be so profoundly healing on so many different levels and layers and dimensions in someone's body and emotions and, physical, mental, emotional. Because I know some of you doing physical body work that goes beyond the physical. It's like, what's actually happening here? You're allowing something to come through. And it's through compassion. If you're in judgment of what you experience, like, oof, that's pretty heavy, especially working with chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia. It's like, oh God, this is so heavy. How can I ever help this person? When I meet myself more fully, I am the medicine. It's an effortless embodiment of the impact I have come to have. That is where the power lies. Okay, so I think most of you have heard about Ho'oponopono. I've shared on it a bit. We have a great meditation package, and it's on the website under drkimd.com/Ho'oponopono. We really did use that link. I have no idea how to tell people to spell that word, but you can just go on the website under programs, and it's a really, it's not a high price for it or anything, but it's a really powerful transmutation in that meditation and the call that went with it. And so I would point you toward that, because when we're assisting others in their depth of despair and grief and shame, which are the most toxic energies we embody, that if you release those, you can help everybody heal. When we can embody our own and allow that to transmute, we can be the space and hold the container for assisting theirs. And every disease known to man can shift in the space and presence of that light. So in Ho'oponopono, we meet everything that presents itself. Like I just shared in the Mind Body and Mind Body TV today, relax and breathe to allow more of you to come through. That is very true for us as practitioners. If I simply do that, I hold the space that allows healing to happen. I am not the healer. I'm not doing the healing. So this is the biggest thing that gets practitioners depleted is, I've got to heal this person. And then it's like, oh God, I got to do that. I've got to heal this. I've got to fix that. I've got to help them. I'm going to take on more clients. I've heard other people tell me, well, I want to take on more clients. You don't want to take on anything. But if you are in a more expansive space with being willing to embody yourself more fully, you can receive and assist more clients. You can receive and assist more of humanity. You can receive way more money. And you have to be willing to receive that. So for the person who was sharing, I think it was Michelle, people don't want to pay for it. So just look at what happens for you if you were to ask for, okay, it's going to be, and make it several times greater than what you may be charging. If it's like $200 session, make it a $20,000 session, $200,000 session. I am in 100% alignment with a transmission that would be a $200,000 value for someone to receive. Why? Because as I access the infinite within me, I can allow them to receive the infinite within them. What's the infinite worth? What's your lifetime worth? It's infinite. You can't quantify that. And so you can find ways to let yourself be an embodiment of that. I am willing to access the infinite within me, and I must meet the depth of my shame and grief and anger and despair and like freaking fill it in, hopelessness fully, in order to do that, so that I can assist someone in accessing the infinite within them. I am not the healer. I can give someone a pill and say, this pill is going to cure your migraines. This pill is going to cure your cancer. This pill is going to end your dementia. This pill is going to fill in the blank. We have already seen it. It is in our scientific, every single major pharmaceutical study is showing 70% of the effect of that therapy is a placebo. And that is based on the heart. There's a trust. I know this doctor cares about me and truly believes and has a knowing that this is going to help me. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to throw this thing in and maybe magic will happen. There is a science to understanding what that transmission is. Can I be the medicine and embody this? Okay, so allowing transmutation, embodying compassion. We've got, and this is the main thing I wanted to share in this webinar. We've got to embody the wholeness that we are, the healing. Doesn't mean I have to be a perfectly healthy being, or I don't have cancer, or I don't have pain, or none of that matters. It matters that I enter into my knowing and my own alignment of, I'm willing to be the all that I am and to enter this depth of truth of who I am. When I'm willing to be that, and I reside in my heart, there's a very powerful transmission that happens between myself and my client, whether they're physically right here in front of me, or they're in Denmark and we do it on a Skype, or we're on the phone and communicating, or I just think about that person. And I have so many clients who will tell me like, almost every day, I was just thinking about you, and then I opened up this thing you sent me. And like, there's a connection that they know it's already done. It's already received. That I can allow an impact to happen for them. And that's called the mirror neuron effect. And in the mirror neuron effect, and we've studied the brain, it was in the early 90s that this came about. And it was like, wow, this is amazing. This is totally crazy. This changes everything that we think we know. So they'd have like a monkey, and they'd hook it up to electrodes on the brain. And that monkey would watch another monkey eating a banana. And the monkey's eating the banana, peeling it, getting excited, and actually eating it and enjoying it. And the brain of the monkey watching, who's not eating a banana, would go through all of the firing as if that monkey were in the experience himself. The salivary glands would secrete, the digestive hormones would secrete, digestion would, like all the same things as if he's about to eat the banana. And this happens to us. We go in a movie, you really cry as if this is really happening to you. You really feel suspense as if this is really happening to you because of that mirror neuron effect. What you're paying attention to gets translated into your reality. And so this is not just a physical transmission where if you see me sitting on a beach, relaxing, your body will feel more relaxed. That's all well and good. It's way more powerful than that. It's an electromagnetic transmission. So if I'm in a space of, I love and honor myself unconditionally, and I'm willing to be all of the truth of who I am and show up in that light and that abundance and receive that light and receive that abundance. If I show up in alignment with that and you hear me speak, see my video, are physically in the room with me, or this part kind of might blow our minds, even just have the awareness that I exist. Even just think of me. There is an electromagnetic transmission. And your body receives something. It receives a download. It receives an awareness. It receives a hit. It receives a shift. Doesn't mean you welcome it. But when you begin to say yes to that, wow, what was that? Yeah, I'm going to choose that. Oh, look what she's having. I'm going to have what she's having. Oh, wow, that's how she does it. I want to do it like that. When you receive it in any of those ways, it creates a repatterning of your system, physical, mental, emotional. This is the most powerful medicine we can be. We are not separate. You don't have to be, I don't have to physically put my hand on you to have a transmission like that. I can just show up in the world and emanate that. This is the most powerful thing we can experience. The most powerful thing that we can choose is this alignment. Okay. So the head and the heart, we think of like everything that's happening in the mind and everything we've learned about what's required, about what we need to do, about how things work, about, oh, I really want to do that, but yeah, I don't have the money. All the ways we think we can't have it now, we don't choose it. Well, the head has a certain bioelectric transmission that patterns everything that's happening for us and creates our reality. But the heart has a much, much, much more powerful, thousands of times more powerful electromagnetic transmission. So if all you did every day was enter into the space of your heart and feel serenity, and you can download that meditation, drkimd.com/serenity, play with it. I'm willing to receive everything that's in alignment with this. Yes. Whether it's, I'm going to do the Be the Medicine program. Yes. I would love to explore that technology and embody that. Or who the heck knows? Anything that feels like a yes. Anything. I'm ready to choose it and I'm willing to choose it and I'm choosing it. And people will tell me all the time, as soon as they register for something, that's when things started to change for me, because it's a speeding up. It will speed up your world. Sometimes it feels like, whoa, now I'm 10 times more afraid. But I'm willing to feel my fear now. And that dissipated in a day. And there's so much more alignment already. And there's so much more juice and energy already. So whatever it is that calls to you from here, from the heart, when you're willing to choose it, it will create more. That alone will create alignment. All right, so I'm going to read a few more questions here. Bali says, I'm not a practitioner, just always have been a helper of others. And during the years, I totally lost all parts of me to the point where if someone, family, comes around, I feel like a part of me is so depleted that if I look within me, I feel more like my family to the point of behaving and thinking like them as if there's no boundary left. Oh boy. The flip side of this, I keep sensing their repressed feelings. What can I do to heal my health if I have to live with them still? This is intense. The first thing is that there is the energy of hopelessness. So if you feel, and for other people on this call, I'm sure if you tune into that, it's like, oh, what a conundrum. You can't win. There's no way out, or you feel heaviness. So just be willing to feel the heaviness of your own hopelessness. The situation will present what the situation presents, and then you feel the energy that is incomplete in you. When you're willing to presence that with more awareness, so like, all right, I'm going to feel all of this dark hopelessness, and just breathe. Bring in light, connect with light. That will allow it to start to transmute. So you can see something beyond it. You can see it and you can see who you truly are beyond it, or feel a strength beyond it, or feel possibility beyond it. That's enough. And so breathe into it, and you can even just say, just tap one of your tapping points. Everything I bought and sold to myself about this. Everything I bought and sold to myself about taking on others' energy. Everything I bought and sold to myself about I can't get away. I am them. And just breathe in. Relax your body and breathe out. What this does is it neutralizes all of that. Because if you think about everything I bought and sold to myself, I don't even know the stuff I've been telling myself about this, or the programming that was pre-verbal, or stuff that came in before this lifetime. Oh my God, it's impossible. I'll never get through it all. It's okay. It doesn't matter. You can just neutralize it. It's okay for me to witness and experience the result of this. It's okay for me to witness and experience everything I'm experiencing right now relative to this challenge. Breathe in and breathe out. And with each exhale, you can allow, or you'll feel and notice some of the fear releasing. You don't have to try to make that happen. It will happen. Just allow it to neutralize everything that I've believed about this circumstance. Because there's like 10 layers of heaviness in there. Not that that's a problem. But you don't have to dissect them all, but you can actually just let it all arise and really feel it and witness it and do a little, even just put your hand on your heart. I'm willing to acknowledge everything this brings up for me, and I'm willing to breathe and be present. So that will neutralize your willingness to be present. People are asking about, how do I neutralize? Because in the mind, there's always so much to do. Now I got to learn to transmute. You are a transmuter. You already are a transmuter. And a lot of, indeed, the medicine, it was learning about your operating system. As a highly sensitive person, learning about your operating system and some freaking coolness about it and what's really possible when you integrate and become aware of what you truly are able to do. So you can let yourself tap into that to start with. Charlotte, I'm a full-time 24/7 caregiver for my 96-year-old mother. Blessings, blessings to you. Jenny says, whoa, amen, Jeff. Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. Kathy, I'm sad that I have to leave the meeting early. Is there going to be a replay? Yeah, I always have a replay. Love your work so much. Thank you, and God bless you. We'll pretty much always have a replay for what we're doing. Erica, it was unlearning and then learning. Yeah, it kind of was. And the unlearning was everything I learned in the head, but the learning came from the knowing of the heart. It's kind of like, it's not the same as learning we do in the mind, but it's integrating a new way and integrating a new technology and really connecting with the understanding of who I am. Okay. Charlotte goes on to say, I've been doing this for 3 years now, 24/7 caregiver for my 96-year-old mother. I take care of her out of a sense of love and duty. But there's so many other things I want to do and could be doing. It's very challenging and depressing much of the time. I'd like to feel less resentment and frustration and fatigue. So there is a sense of love, but then there's also duty. So wherever you're doing this in duty is going to create repression. It's going to create resentment. It's going to create suppression of aliveness, and it will actually create less for her as well. So even if you're helping her and she needs me and she'd never make it without me and I have to do this, if it's out of a sense of duty, it's always your system indicating for you that there's more available for you to receive so that you both receive more. And when you decide, no, I have to do it myself, I can't let it in, or no, there's no money for that, I have to do it. It's like saying, no, universe, you're wrong, I got this one handled. The reason you're feeling resentment is because your body, your wisdom knows there is more available, but you're blocking it out and saying no. So you'll only end up damaging yourself and frustrating yourself. The resentment is always when we buy into something that we know isn't true. So somewhere I could really receive more, but then it's like, no, I could never do that. And so wherever you know that you're betraying yourself, you will feel resentment. So honor the resentment. It's a gift to show you that you can open and receive more. Rachel, does that mean all our past negative experiences has happened to us for a reason so that we can awaken to what it has to teach us and we can learn from it? Essentially, yes. Yes. In short. And Lori, it's me, Lori. Angela, I am not a practitioner, but had imagined that I might do some healing work when I retired. I had done some Reiki training. I've been retired for a year and I found myself even more debilitated with chronic fatigue, which I've experienced for the last year or more to varying degrees, and not able to do much more than look after myself. This is a great, if it does call to you, the Be the Medicine program is certainly a fit for the stage you're at and what you're doing, and that there is some inspiration to explore healing arts like Reiki, and also for yourself and for what your body will receive from this. It will definitely be a contribution to you. So feel that out. Sometimes when I feel compassion for someone, I want to fix it and I take it on. It's hard to let it go. And I talked about the Ho'oponopono earlier, where everything I feel is mine to feel, is mine to transmute, is mine to embrace. So be willing, instead of trying to this is their energy. I've learned from a lot of practitioners about how to not take on others' energy. And it's about put a crystalline grid around yourself and give everybody their energy back at the end. And that's all well and good, but you do not need to do it like that. When you're in fluidity, you can move through all energies very fluidly and stay in the inspired frequency of who you are. Bali says, I was at a point where I built a spiritual foundation, but then I lost it all and even forgot it all from getting depleted, where my memories and focus is gone. Is that possible? If someone's experiencing psychosis or disconnected, can they heal without medication? Yes. And if so, how? Yes, that is possible because if you're learning spirituality from the mind, yeah, you can disconnect from that which you've learned. But if it was a truly integrated spiritual experience, that can never be lost. You will always have an anchor to that deeper wisdom, to that deeper level of light, and you can connect to it at any time. It's not something that you access through the mind or something you understand or something you can lose. How can people heal from psychosis? Well, this is way more beyond the scope of what we're doing in this webinar, but the psychosis occurs as a result of our disconnection with ourself. And when we're buying into a reality that is, so we're living in a reality of separation. You're over there, I'm over there. We don't have anything to do with each other. If I have more, you have less. If you have more, I got to make sure I go get mine. If you pay me, you have less and I have more. That's a big, we're going to definitely go into a ton of clearing with that in the Be the Medicine program, probably in the first month, is the old paradigm of money as money in separation. When we experience money in unity, we're in a flow of energy exchange all the time. We are the energy that we're exchanging. Whether I'm an artist and I create a beautiful earring or a piece of jewelry and I put my essence of my art or my skill and I make this beautiful thing, then I sell it to you for $3,000 and then give me the $3,000. It's an exchange. It's not a separate, oh, here's the earring, or here's the 3,000. Oh, I really made out in the deal. Or, this is a completely different experience and we can enter into it now. We don't have to wait until we're in an evolved society that uses a different kind of currency or a more fluid currency, which we are, by the way, we have already created that. We've created free currency. It's another story, but we aren't necessarily operating in that completely and not necessarily operating that in a mainstream. We're in this money currency, and that's fine. You can operate in money in total fluidity. So that will definitely be one of the first things we do. But the thing I was sharing is we're in this separation. And for many of us, we have a system that is not anchored in separation. Like it feels so discordant. So not at ease. In the emergency room, I used to see young kids, adolescents all the time coming in with psychosis or severe panic or severe depression and suicidality because of this, because their energy body, their system is aligned to, like a highly sensitive person, be operating in a different technology of fluidity, of harmony, of oneness. But then they're thrust into this world of separation and disconnection, and here's what's wrong with you, and here's what's bad about you, and why can't you just listen to me, and here's how you should be doing it, and let's put you on medication to fix you and get you to fit into this box. And they're all discombobulated mentally and, of course, emotionally. Because of that, they can come into harmony when they're in a higher harmonic, physically, mentally, in a different space, or certainly in a space like I could instantly look them in the eye and bring that person right back down out of a psychosis. There's a lot more to be said on that, but yes, it can be healed without medication. Actually, there isn't any way to heal it with medication. We can just suppress the dysfunction of it. Susan, please stabilize your microphone. Oh no. Eek. Has that been bad? Erica, hopefully not. Sorry about that. My computer's balanced on something and it's moving. So we'll get that straightened out for the next webinar. Okay, totally fascinating. Mirror neurons. Here's a little more information. Oh, she's sharing a little more information on Be the Medicine. drkimd.com, BTM. Yeah, mirror neurons are like one of the most fascinating discoveries of the past couple decades about how we function and how we receive. Our physical cellular system can receive information from outside us, be impacted by what's happening outside us. That's how you could walk into a room and people can heal. How does that happen? So there's an electromagnetic transmission from your emanation, from your alignment, from who you're being. And we can see this physically and chemically, like we put the electrodes on the brain and you can register like what happens in that person's body, how it's secreting to their digestive system, to their nervous system, to their immune system. And it creates chemical changes. And we're beginning to study how this is an electromagnetic transmission that creates electromagnetic changes. It's even faster and it's thousands and thousands of times more impactful on their physical, mental, and emotional body. Lisa, I find the things that help me when working with clients are staying primarily with my own body in a very centered and calm state. Yes. Breathe deeply, slow down, and listen compassionately, but from a distance so that I'm not identifying with the client's issues, and recognizing that I'm not saying these clients that they're just doing the work themselves. I'm just helping guide. Oh, and I'm not saving these clients. They're doing the work themselves. I'm here to guide them. I would tweak this one thing about I'm not identifying, I'm staying at a distance, so I'm not identifying with the client's issues. What you're doing that's working is that you're staying in compassion so that you're not buying into the heaviness that they are communicating from. And I hope that makes sense. You're not getting glitched up by making it real for you that they're in the heaviness or grief or shame or despair that's real for them. So you're actually holding a space that allows it to transmute for them. I'm just helping guide them. When I run into issues is when I'm not centered or when I'm trying to accomplish too much in a short period of time. Yes. And there are a lot of exercises that can bring us into that state as well that I have to share. And that it's all in the program. There's a lot of videos I created. Bali, how can we heal ourselves as an HSP, highly sensitive person, if we're so depleted that we can't feel anything of ours, not even with our hearts? We've got to actually come into our own alignment first. And if you're in the space of helping others right now, you might want to back off because there's really no point. You're not actually going to create an expansion for you or them. It will just be more depleting. It's kind of like last week when I took the whole day off and rearranged my day and canceled everything. It was like this webinar, and I'm very sorry because I know this is a Jewish holiday. So happy, oh my gosh, it's not Rosh Hashanah. It's Yom Kippur. Happy Yom Kippur. And I'm sorry, this is scheduled maybe inconveniently for some people who are celebrating that. But there was nothing good that was going to come out of me trying to push myself to show up when my whole system really required that I just, back off and take it easy. And so it created more for myself and for the world that I did that and that I honored that. We didn't see how it directly created more. Like, how did it create more? You didn't even show up that day. It created more in many, many, many ways. And that's all in that transmission of who I'm being on the planet. I don't know if my question got through. This is Jen. As I got cut out, is there anything I can read about mirror neurons when you think about someone? There is a lot you can read on mirror neurons, but I'm not sure exactly what specifically to point you to. You could probably search around online and feel what really speaks to you. There's tons on YouTube, lots of scientists who've shared through TED Talks or other forums where they're sharing research that have been done and how this applies clinically and things like that. Jen, rather than when you're actually with them, I get it. I can read about mirror neurons when you think about someone rather than when you're actually with them. I get it when one sees them, but how does it work if one isn't with the person? Okay, our bioelectric field it doesn't end. We can measure it up to 8 to 10 feet away from the body, but it actually continues out beyond that. So, and we do this all the time where you connect with someone on the other side of the world and they're like, whoa, I really felt that, or something happens at the same time as something else. We are not separate. So we can allow this transmission to affect other people, even if we're not in really close proximity. Okay. Does one need to know the person well? No. One can be affected by the people one sees on TV or just out in public on the bus. Well, we are affected by the frequency of everyone here. And to the degree that we haven't resolved our own fear, anger, hatred, resentment, we're going to get glitched up and triggered by the fear, anger, and resentment of others. That might seem like a death sentence, but it's actually a gift. It's a gift that we become aware of what we're feeling, willingly breathe, so we can let those energies transmute. Okay. This, yeah, this is the completion of what I wanted to share today. I did want to add about when I allow my body to heal from an autoimmune illness, it wasn't through, because we think like, okay, I'm going to do the affirmations. I am whole and healthy and strong. And I'm, my body's no longer sick and I'm healthy now. It's really bringing this into an experience, emanating it from here, from the heart, feeling the result of that. Well, what is it when I'm whole and healthy? So if I do my affirmation from here, from the heart, from the space of what I know this truth. I know I am whole. And in that moment, it's, sorry, that might be the microphone. In that moment, it's a little bit irrelevant that my body's here or there. My body's whole and healthy or not. When I connect with the space of I am whole, I know the truth of who I am. And I just appreciate that or move into that or breathe into that or feel that. That is what creates a shift in my bioelectrics that then, of course, allows the body to come into greater wholeness physically. So when we're doing whatever it is, whether it's I want to create this business and share this amazing gift I have with the world, or I want to get clear on what this is so that I have a life that I really love and do work that I really care about, or I want to heal my body, or I want to make more money, or blah, 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 fill in the blank. When we connect with the part of us that is coming through, the part of us that is receiving that desire, we can align with it. We can allow ourselves to come into alignment. Alignment isn't work of like, let me get myself into that alignment. What do I have to do? It's more about allowing. And so connecting with this space of what I know that I know. And so for each one here, I would invite you to set an intention for what you receive from participating in this webinar, from what we talked about here, that you allow yourself to step into something new. I allow myself to receive all that I need so that I am fulfilled, living in juicy existence and contributing from that space to my world. I allow myself that this inspiration I have in my business, who I'm here to be, comes into fruition and I'm living it in every moment. I allow that I live in a vibrant, healthy, fully alive body and have a fully alive existence. So I'd love to hear these affirmations, but I would invite you to connect with them from the space of your knowing. They didn't come from you. They came through you. It's an invitation to you. That's why it feels so like, oh, yes, could it really be that easy? Yes, I would love to have that. There's a part of you that already knows that's who you are. That's why when you lie to yourself and say, but I have to do for everyone else, I have to keep this job, I have to do this thing, I have to overwork, you feel resentment. Taking care of your mother 24/7 without even a 4-minute break isn't something that is probably a possibility that it could be aligned with a healthy, harmonic human existence. So be willing to look at that. What are all the things I've been telling myself? What would it take for me to release all of them? Certainly in the first month of the Be the Medicine, we will do a lot that transmutes that allows the release of those energies that keep us from not seeing, not knowing, not receiving. Okay. Oh yes, next webinar is next week. We're going to be here at the exactly same time. It's a Q&A for the Be the Medicine. So if there are questions about it, like, hey, I'd really like to do this, but what about blah, 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 or I don't know about this, or how does it work, or when are the calls? A lot of that information is on the page at drkimd.com/BTM. But there may still be people who are like, is this really for me? I'm not sure I fit into the picture of what you're doing. I want to have more clarity so people really understand. It's not for people who are like, I've already set everything up and I'm ready to go. And even if it's an inkling in your awareness of, this could really be a contribution to my life, to my body, to my health, and to what I'm sharing in the world, this is a fit for you. So whatever stage of the game you're at, certainly for practitioners, it's a great fit because there's so many things that you're doing that may not be in alignment with what you're really here to do. So to let something bigger come through into the work you're already doing and rearrange your world. Okay, thank you for answering all my questions. I appreciate you so much, and sound was fine. Yom Kippur, I know. Can you speak about the seeming discrepancy in healing work from being highly intuitive and a highly sensitive person? There's not a really big difference for me what highly intuitive and highly sensitive. If I'm sensitive, I am sensing. So I'm aware of what I am receiving. We're all receiving the same information. We're all living in the same frequency field. It's like if you're a radio and we all tune our radio to different stations, we're all playing a different tune. And we all think that our tune is the only tune in existence. But the radio frequencies are all crossing over the same place. I mean, they're all here, or at least the frequencies we're picking up on. So being sensitive allows you to know what you know and be intuitive. It can be something that you develop, which is also a component of what we do in the work and Be the Medicine, is more tuning in, more awareness, more letting yourself know what you know, specifically the things that you would like to know, like what will create the most for me in my life? What would be the thing I can do today that's going to make the biggest difference in my work? Thank you for your answer. We recognize in others our own problems and we amplify them. I learned today that as an HSP, even if we don't help others and we're feeling everything they feel and disconnected from our emotions, to just breathe and come back to presence. Thank you. Yes. Beautiful. All right. So I definitely would love to hear any of the affirmations of what you're ready to step into, what you know is true for you, that you're ready to know and you're ready to live. And we will complete the webinar now, but I'll go back and look at any other comments that are added. Thank you so much for being here. You can certainly register for next week's webinar. I will be sending out an email, I think tomorrow, that will have the link for that. Anyone who's not subscribed, it's drkimd.com. Just in case anyone's listening to the recording and someone has sent it to you and you're not already part of the community. We'll also be in the Mind Body community to be sharing more. And I hope this has been helpful for all of you who are practitioners. I would love to hear more from you in the future. Lots of love. Bye. Bye.